everyone, welcome back to my channel Seriously Creative. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I make my resin inserts. It is something that I get asked about quite a bit and I've finally put the time aside to make the video, so I hope it's helpful for you. So the first technique I'm going to show you is using heat reactive foil. And what you'll need is a laminator or a mink machine, a laser printer, some transparency sheets, some heat reactive foils, and if you're using a laminator you'll need baking paper. If you don't have a printer, or if you don't have a laser printer specifically, you can do what I do and just go to your local printing store and have them printed off for you. So where I get it done, they actually have their own transparency sheets as well, and it cost me 30 cents a page. So first thing you'll need to do is choose your fonts or your images that you'd like to make into inserts. You can use Microsoft Word and the fonts that they have in there, or there is some websites that you can use to download your own fonts. This one is called DaFont. And also just make sure that you check the copyright on the font as well. It'll let you know if you can use it for personal or commercial use, and you can also pay for full use as well. When it comes to finding images for the inserts, I usually just use Google Images and try to find a simple design that's not been copyrighted or is someone else's art, and try and choose a PNG file because it's easier to print out that way. Or you could use a program like Photoshop just to draw your own designs. So once you've printed out your images, just lay the foil on top and make sure that the ink is facing upwards so that when it reacts with the heat it'll stick to it properly. And I just put some baking paper over the top to make sure that it's protected from the laminator. And you can just run it through the laminator. Sometimes I'll do it twice if I feel like it hasn't stuck properly, and then just use a credit card or something firm to run over the foil and make sure that it's stuck to the transparency sheets properly. After it's cooled down, you can peel off the foil carefully and look at your beautiful inserts. For the second technique, we've got vinyl stickers. So what you'll need for this is a cutting machine. I use the brand Cricut, and vinyl. And as some extras, you can use transparency sheets, transfer paper and UV resin, and just watch till the end and I'll show you how you can use these. So Cricut has its own editing software, so once you've chosen the shapes and the words that you'd like to use, you can just go ahead and print them off on the Cricut machine. So as you can see, you can just go ahead and leave the words just as is, especially if it's a cursive word. They're all joined together and makes it really easy to put it inside the resin. But if you'd like to use a font that isn't joined together and it isn't cursive, I'll show you a technique, two different techniques that you can use to help them to stick together. So the first thing you can do is use UV resin. Just put a really thin layer over the letters and then cure it under your UV light or in the sun. The other way you can avoid the letters moving around is by using some transfer tape, and you can move the stickers over onto some transparency paper. I'm just going to make some pieces so you can see what they look like when they're inside resin. So this is with the vinyl. You can see it's nice and smooth. The vinyl doesn't tend to move around in the resin too much, especially if it's in cursive writing. This is the vinyl with the UV resin. It also looks really good because you can't see resin in resin. It's completely clear. Vinyl on transparency paper, you can actually see the plastic, the edge of the plastic on there, which is why it's not really something that I do anymore. And you get a similar effect with the heat reactive foil on the transparency sheets. You can actually see the edge of the sheets, but it's still a really good way to make your inserts. It's a lot cheaper than buying a Cricut machine and the paper. I still like to use heat reactive foil for when I do really intricate patterns. And for example, when I make it in this tray, you can't see the edges because it goes all the way to the edge of the tray. So this is a really good example where you can use heat reactive foil and you can't see the edges. So that's it for this video. I will leave some links down in the description below for some other videos that might be helpful, but otherwise just leave me a comment if you have any other questions, and thank you as always for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!